My name is Shruti Sethia and I'm a practicing counseling psychologist. I am an active coach at Atmadhruti. Atmadhruti, it's an organization that creates spaces where individuals, especially students and young adults, who can discover their authentic self, navigate life's challenges with resilience, and unlock their fullest potential. And in line with the same vision, we are launching Unblocked, a podcast platform designed to bring forward voices, aspirations, fears, beliefs, struggles, and dreams of the younger generation. Today, our theme is Values Starting to Form, Choices Becoming Real. We welcome our young guest, Satiki Chakrabati of 10th Standard from Kolkata.
I am Satiki Chakrabati of 10th Standard. I love to play football. We usually play it with my friends or I practice it at home alone. All the time at school, with club, all the time I'm playing football. But other than playing football, I usually play video games, I listen to music, and I do what a normal teenager of my age does.
Okay, since you mentioned that you do something that a normal teenager does, I would like to know, how would a normal teenager think, and what do you think, matlab, what would be a problem that you would want to solve before you would die?
There is this problem in today's world. It's the lack of peace in the world. We know how this world was going on. USA, Iran, and before that there was Russia-Ukraine war. And the world never stopped. The world is always running. And I feel like there's not enough peace because all the time there's something going on. There's some war or some pandemic all the time. There are always few people dying all around the world. And I feel like I want to change that. I want to change how people live. I want to change how people think. I want to change how people feel. And I feel like I want more peace around. And so that there's more happiness in every one of us.
Right. So you mentioned about how you would want, to bring peace in the world. How would you want to change lives that matter to you, right? That brings me to my next question. What kind of a life are you wanting to have? Which is, I'm not talking about job titles or something that you want to achieve, academically or in your career, but what kind of a life are you aiming to have?
A life I would really love to have, or I'm aiming to have, is the one where I serve people more. I make it more about others than me. I try to think about their problems. I try to think about how I can solve their problems. Maybe in a way like what therapists do. I would like to dig into what people do. I like to think for them, maybe offer them solutions. And maybe I would like to know more about them so that I can use it for their help. And I would really want to help others so that they feel better. And at the end of the day, if I make others feel better, I'll feel better too. And that's what I really want to do.
Wow, very, very interesting. I'm glad that you have such kind of a view for yourself and the kind of life you want to live for yourself. Now that brings me to something that I'm really curious about. Who would be a fictional or a real character or a historical character or anybody that, really excites you a lot about life or whose life really means a lot to you? It is very exciting to you.
There's one person who comes to my mind whenever some question like this is asked to me, and of course, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Not because of his football career, but more because of his life outside that football career. How his hotel, which he built in 2011, it was used for the great earthquake and to help the refugees for a place to live in. And also how he does not apply any tattoos, just so that he's able to donate clean blood to everybody. He does so much for the world. And there's another trait about him, which I like, which I would like to put it into my own life, which is discipline. How he strives for discipline, how he strives for what he does, the things he stands for, that has really shaped into what I want to do. That has really made me think that, wow, this is someone I really want to be. This is someone whose life I really want to live. And this is some life I've always dreamed of. That's something I wake up every day and I think I should be trying to live like him more and more as the every day, every week, every month goes by.
Wow. So I think you're very clear about who is somebody who excites you a lot and the kind of, things that excites about his life to you. Now, I would like to know if there's, any conversation that you've had in the very recent that sort of moved you and sort of made you think that, okay, this is the kind of the person that I want to become, because you mentioned about your values a lot. So I would like to know that.
I recently had a conversation with my father. It was regarding the amount of talents around the world and also in India that go to waste. And that just makes me feel much more sadder because there's so many people putting in the work, striving more, working hard every day just for the dreams not to come true, which I like, which I would like to put it into my own life, which is discipline. How he strives for discipline, how he strives for what he does, this things he stands for, that has really shaped into what I want to do. And we can utilize with every single talent we have. And I feel like these talents which are disappearing, they should be utilized more. And because saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Very well said. I think that's very meaningful when you say that it'll be a very sad life if a talent is wasted, right? Since you're wondering so much about not wasting talent, is there something that you're really scared of doing or something that's fearing you, but it's also something that is a biggest risk that you would like to take in your life?
That is the fear of failure. Maybe it's a fear, it's mostly a fear, but I would want to face it because I don't want success immediately. I want to fail as much as I can because that will shape me into what I need to be. And I feel like that's all I need. And that's the big step of fear of failure, which I would like to overcome.
Okay. Now, when you say fear of failure, is it something that excites you or is it something that terrifies you?
I can say it both excites me and terrifies me because, yes, of course, fear of failure, it can lead to a lot of problems, which is terrifying. But if everything works out well, that's exciting. And I feel like everything in life, sometimes it's going to be both terrifying and exciting, but I have to face whatever I have to face. And I cannot always be scared of what's coming. I have to face them with everything I have and I have to give it my all. And maybe thinking of it as excitement, thinking of it as exciting, it can just help me feel better so that I can approach it in a better manner.
Right. I also wanted to, since you were saying that I want to face my fears with all of that I have, right? That brings me to, thinking about people in our life we're very close to, right? And sometimes our fear is, more to do with that it should not affect them or it should not bother them about us, right? So do you have anything like that? Is there any fear which you feel that if you do this XYZ thing, it might scare people who are very close to you or it might put them off in terms of what is this happening?
Yes, it is a thing. It's not actually a thing. It's something I believe in a lot, which is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I've, a few years ago, I got into Christianity and I think I'd like to tell more people about it. I'd like to propagate more about Christ and his teachings and more about what he has to offer to us. But sometimes in this place, in this region, I feel like, yes, this makes me feel like I'm going to get attacked, or maybe it makes me feel uncomfortable or makes people around me feel uncomfortable. But I do not want that. I want everything to be clear with everyone, because I want to be clear with everyone with whatever I'm saying. And yes, maybe I can classify it as a fear, but I want to overcome that fear, and I want to be fluid. I want to be in flow state, and I want to freely talk with them about this, because this is something very important as well.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's something very personal to you that you shared
Yes.
with me. I'm trying to understand if, like you believe in a particular religion, like you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Do you think people would worry who are close to you because they do not understand this, or they do not understand the kind of idea you have about this?
I do not think that they would worry, but rather I think I would worry instead of them, because I feel like I want people to actually acknowledge what I'm thinking. And I have had friends who have done that, who have acknowledged what I'm thinking. And I would just wish maybe it would get better for me. Maybe the conditions get better for me to preach in a better manner, so that everything is all happy and jolly.
Right. I think that speaks volume about, the kind of attributes you have while you're living your life. I want to also know that what kind of, person you want to be. That, you know, it should not matter in terms of what role you have, how are they related to you, but you want this thing to be remembered about you, about your presence.
I would want everyone to know about me, how I impacted their lives, how I helped them. Maybe it was a gift, or maybe it was something more. Maybe I helped them at their lowest, or maybe they helped me when I was at my lowest. But I want to have a clear impact on people's lives, maybe a good impact, I'm hoping, so that they remember me throughout their entire lives. And I hope we have a good relationship.
Thank you. I think we've spoken about how peace and how helping others and how creating value in others' life is something that's really meaningful for you. Okay, let's do a quick rapid fire. Give me one word for what you would want your life to feel like.
Purposeful.
Very nice. Okay, one person that you would want to have a 1 hour conversation with, alive or dead.
I'll go for Jesus Christ. Yes.
Tell me something that you believe in, but other people your age don't.
I would say Christianity.
Can you tell me a moment that you felt like yourself the most?
When playing football,
Let's say you have 1 year with yourself and there are no obligations to meet to. What would you be doing?
I'd travel around, meet with new people, and maybe have the best moment of my life.
Tell me a fear that you want to face before you turn 25.
The fear of taking risks.
Okay, you want to face that before 25?
Yes.
Okay, very nice. Okay, let's assume that it's your farewell. Okay, what would you want people to say about you? It should not be something about your achievements you did or something, but something for you to be remembered as a person.
I'd want them to think or tell everyone how I was as a person, how I was as a friend, how I was as whatever relationship I had with them. And I'd want it to be truthful and honest.
So give me a question that you wish that someone would have asked you, but they never did.
One question someone asked me but they never did would be, what's the one job you're afraid to speak out loud?
And what would that be?
Thou always be playing football, whether at a pro or an amateur level.
Okay, thank you so much. It was lovely speaking to you. I really appreciate you giving us your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.